GM, everybody. GM. Good morning. Welcome to Money Monday. All right. Few things going. GM. I am excited. We got some good stuff cooking. All right. Okay, well, let's get into it. Saw some big numbers coming through the system over the weekend. So big congrats to a bunch of you putting in sales. Awesome. Awesome stuff. And the thing I keep thinking about is our summit. So for those of you who are brand new, welcome to the call. We call this Money Monday. We're going to do three, soon to be, I'll let you know when, but soon we're going to do 4 or maybe even 5 calls, and a few people who have put their hand in the air to say, hey, I want to help grow the team. I want to do some volunteering. I want to help. How can I help? And so we're going to be expanding. This is something I want all of you who have the mindset of marketing and then taking the marketing money to do real estate. Okay. I know there's another group of you that's here to do real estate with a side of marketing. Cool. But for those of you who are like, hey, marketing is going to pay my bills, real estate is going to be my wealth creation. Well, I mean, that's one reason why Bob Snyder's a genius and made it this way. Think about this. After this event in October, we're going to have a huge influx of people joining the community. And we need to be ready for that. We need to have systems in place, how to help those people. I mean, the systems are in place, but do you know how to give them the system so that they can get the benefits of the program within 30, 60, 90 days of their involvement? So, Miss Denise has a question. Go ahead. Oh, no, she's just joking with me now. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, good morning,
I'm
everybody.
I'm not awake yet, Michael.
Oh, fair enough. Well, GM, I got myself my collector's edition travel Starbucks mug. This one's from New York. So GM to the New York team. And yeah, we're across the nation. Love it. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking about. 3 things. My ad campaign leading up to this event. I'm going to do warm market, and then I'm also going to do some paid ads. What am I going to do at the event? Right? How to ensure that while people are there, they're having a great time. I think Mitch and Maley did a fantastic job and a great example of that from nationals, taking their people to lunch, having they had, what did they do? On day 2, they had a party at their house because, we had that 3 or 4 hour break from the training to the dinner. They went and had a party at their house, and a bunch of their guests and their ICMs and everybody came, and, they were making the best of that. And then, of course, their follow up and the incentives and everything that came with that. So then part 3 would be, how do we get these people, because they're going to have 30-ish days or so to figure out their funding and take advantage of everything. So now we're looking at mid to end November before we've collected all the sales, but then all those people, let's say we enroll 100, 200, 500 people. We're going to have the overarching training for them, but each of you has your own little training, right? Like Mike and Bree are going to do a little bit different things with their team than Nate and Becky might do, or that I might do with my team, or that Jennifer might do with her team. 80% of us can be the same. That 20% is something you got to think about and develop as a mindset of a leader. What do you want them to do? Some of you might be struggling with that concept, mindset of a leader. Who am I to lead other people, right? Don't you know I'm a bum? I had to borrow the money to join and blah, blah, blah. And you have this funny story in your head about how you can't be a leader. That'll cost you millions of dollars to maintain that story. So do you like that story millions of dollars worth? Or is it time to maybe edit the story a little bit? When we take it at a literal sense, leading means literally minimum, bare minimum, a step ahead, right? That's leading. At least one step ahead. Well, great news. All of you are one step ahead of anybody who hasn't joined yet. So in that technical, literal sense, you're also leaders. I know, but I want you to develop this perspective of when someone comes to you, you either know the answer or know where to find the answer. If you have that attitude, more and more people are going to flock to you. I either have the answer or I know where to get the answer. And if that's just part of your vibe, part of your being, then people want to be around that, and they're going to pay because they have to pay to be around that, right? Say no free ride. We don't want free rides. Think about what kind of ride it would be if it was free. Probably not one you want to get on. All right, so quote of the day. This is by Florence Nightingale. I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took an excuse. Ooh, I like that. See, most of us have worked on our language enough to not give excuses. But how many of you still take excuses from your customers, from your team members, from your contractors, from your promoters, from whatever other side gigs you're doing, even if you've got a job, your subordinates, your coworkers, your colleagues? Excuses. What an interesting quote. Let's read that one more time. I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took an excuse. Florence Nightingale. I don't know much about her. I know she's a great author, but not much else. I don't even know what year or what era she's from. Anyway, never take an excuse. As important as never give an excuse. Amazing. Okay, so how many days away until the E3 summit? We should make like a timer or something. Let's see. Oh, it's October 23rd, June 23rd. So we're at 120 days away ish. Right? 12 more house tours. Or 16. 16 more house tours. 16 more epics, and we're there. So, okay, we're going to switch to the whiteboard in a minute. We're going to break some numbers down. Some of you heard me when we were leading up to the nationals, but some of you haven't been to nationals or you joined at nationals. And so we need to talk about how to get the most out of what Bob and corporate are investing in. Also want to do a quick reminder about the summer fun day, lake day. Okay, starts at 4 p.m. I don't know why on the date thing inside of here, maybe Bree or somebody can adjust that. It says it's a half-hour event here, but then in the description, it's clear. 4 to 9. Deer Creek Cove Marina at the Peterson Pavilion. Okay, so this is for friends, family, prospects, people who you might have on the edge, people you just signed up who want to get to know the community and more friendly, laid-back environment type deal. Never it's going to be hot, hot, hot. No one wants a sunburn, so get sunscreen. Be sure to read the sunscreen ingredients. I know none of you signed up for my morning calls to talk about ingredients and products, but that sunscreen stuff is beware. Read the ingredients. Just 5 minutes on the internet with sunscreen ingredients, and you'll be convinced. There's plenty of natural stuff out there. Don't put chemicals on your skin. How silly is that? You're like, oh, I'm going to block myself from all these damaging UV rays, and you're going to put damaging chemicals on you? Come on. So anyway, bring some steaks, bring some burgers, bring some dogs, bring some eggplant. Let's grill it up. Let's go, baby. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Bring leads. bring their kids, your kids. Let's have some fun with it. How are these people doing with their names? Let's see. Took me about 1.5 hours. So worth it though. All right, putting together your anyone want a filing cabinet? There you go. The benefits. Log in, get free stuff. Sweet. All right. Thanks, Mitch Maley, and Bree and Mike and everybody who's helped managing and maintain this amazing system. Michelle and all y'all. Okay. So now we talk about Lake Day. We're 120 days away from making it big at E3. Some of you have to travel, adjust your plans accordingly to be there. Okay, so how are we going to hit our numbers? How are we going to hit our numbers? And what kind of perspective should we be taking on this? So let's get the whiteboard zoom in here. Did you guys see? Oops. We talked last week about what was going to happen with the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell either raising rates or leaving them the same, dropping them. What did he do? He left them the same. He said, we are monitoring the situation and they're waiting for more hard data. They have a lot of soft data, whatever. So they're leaving it the same. Boom, look at that. Michelle's so helpful. She said there's an app called Yuka and it tells you what ingredients are in everything. Yuka. Awesome. All right. Denise, I came on when you mentioned selecting people to help market. I'm in that place where marketing Renatus is what's going to help me sustain and move forward with my career journey. Yep. So that's me too. Everyone, I'd be prospecting, I'd talk to people, we go to the closing table and they're like, well, Michael, I want to do real estate. I'm really excited about real estate. What percentage of your income comes from real estate and what comes from marketing? And I used to be worried about that question. For no reason. It was just installed. I don't know where I picked it up and I was like, most of it. Most of it. A couple million come from marketing. I started changing that and I started saying, I started changing my attitude around it. It's always been for me about 80-20. 80% of my income comes from marketing, 20% from real estate. Real estate is the long play. I bought my land. I bought my commercial properties, got the mobile home park. We're going to sit now. 20 years, we can just sit on this thing. But for those 20 years, we still got to do life and experience and have fun. So that's why we do the marketing, so we can make our 10, 20, $50,000 months, make more in a month than people make in a year. Buy a little more real estate, buy some gold, buy some Bitcoin, buy some guns, buy some beef jerky, some solar panels. All right, so Laura has a quick question about the corporate calendar, and then we'll hop over to the whiteboard and do some strategic marketing planning. So my understanding is that they do it every other week, but that it's more geared towards the real estate side instead of the marketing side. So clear the filters. It'll come up here. Let me refresh. I don't see it. And Laura, maybe you and I can make an onboarding thing, because there's onboarding to Renatus and there's onboarding inside of our West Coast team, West Side team. I don't see it on here. So, oh, there's this with Jenna Hoover. So this Friday, no, just kidding, this Thursday. It's been changed to Thursdays.
Hmm.
Let's make
I,
one.
I don't. So that's for the iOS though?
Yeah, that's more for the software and how to use the Helios system more than the marketing.
Okay, yes. That's what I thought. So it's a call that anyone can join and is like a call for more than one person?
Yeah.
A Zoom call?
Hmm.
Okay. Did you say there I couldn't catch it.
Thursday at 2 p.m. Mountain.
Okay. Thank you.
You betcha. And then there's a registration link right there in the chats. But
Okay.
then, to your point about like how do we make it more specialized towards our customers? Because once they jump on board and they get their combo, then they're going to want to go get 5-star. What do we want them to do in the next 30 to 60 days to become 5-star? They're making their money back. You just made a gob of money too, and everybody wins. The
Hmm.
faster that all happens, the easier it happens. That's the key here is how do we make it easy?
So
And
are you saying you wanted to do that?
yeah,
Yes,
I,
let's do it.
yeah, we need to update our onboarding video because it's kind of old, right?
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna make a couple hundred sales. We're all gonna make. I mean, as a team, we're gonna make a couple $1 million. But thinking longer term, it's how to get those people 5-star. So let's do this now. I'm gonna make my iPad the co-host and GM to all the new people. Oh, it already is co-host. Sweet. All right, how are we gonna take advantage of our gift called the E3? Okay. Yep. Okay. Looking good. So they have the ability to expand, but right now we're looking at 750 seats. Now, I'm very literal in my analysis, um, so just take that for what it's worth. Okay, so we have 750 seats. What if just us here on this call, if we each get 20 people there, just us on the call here, we each get 20 people, that's going to be about 500 people from us, maybe. Now, of course, some of them are going to be members already. But what we want to do is do our best to get as many guests there as possible, obviously, so we can all make more money and have a bigger impact on people, changing more lives. Think about your life before Renatus and after Renatus. Okay, so if we're making a target to get 500 people there, we are talking about the E3 conference, Eric. Darn tootin'. So that's October 23rd through 25th. So what are we going to do to get people there? So we have our warm market, which is at 200 list. For most of you, that's going to be the easiest. It's going to be the fastest and the most profitable. Get your warm market there. Okay. Then there's obviously the Facebook groups where you can go into the real estate, entrepreneur, work from home, retire early kind of groups and promote the event, right? Make your own flyers, make your own posts. And then the key is to engage with other people, look at, what other people are posting for their goals, their questions, and just keep hammering, hey, you'll learn at this. This could be your solution. How to buy discounted properties. It's not, I don't think how to do a fix and flip is as attractive these days. I think buying the dip, how to get a discount, how to buy $1 million property for $500,000 as a purchase price and then only come out of pocket 10 grand for $1 million property. How to do these things is what our instructors are going to teach. Okay, something that's changed quite a bit lately is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very, it's changed and it's doing a lot more Facebook-y type stuff. And since it's business oriented, do that anyway. Then we have, now if you're going to be local, flyers and 3-foot rule. Like you just go around a couple days a week, but be consistent. We got 16 weeks. You guys want to count it in hours, in weeks, in days, in months? What gives you the most motivation or urgency? And to me, it's weeks. We got 16 weeks, right? We got 16 follow-up Fridays. We got 16 house tours. So if you're going to go do 3-foot rule once a week, you got 16 times. So are you going to get one person each time? Well, then you got 16 people coming. But the 3-foot rule means essentially that everyone within 3 feet of you all day is going to get a flyer or at least hear about it and get your contact info or your information. Also going around passing out flyers with a partner goes a lot faster, is a lot more fun, and you guys can share 2 stories at once. Yep. And I'm just going to write this in here as a reminder. We'll talk about intention. Okay. Paid ads. Now this is going to be the most expensive. It's going to be the most technical. It's going to be the highest risk. And it might even take a lot of time to try to dial it in and make sure that you get your dollars back on paid ads. And it depends on your expertise, your team, how much time you want to put into it too, is how many dollars you'll put into it. Now, some people are just going to do one paid ad one time, sponsor a meetup or sponsor an Eventbrite and just get it to the top of the list for a little bit. But what about the constant ads that hit people up in their Facebook every time they log in? There's an ad right there, right there, right there. How much does that cost? Well, let's say you got a budget of between 5K and 50K for paid ads. Now, obviously, if you're spending 50K on paid ads, you're expecting to make 10x that, or don't do it, right? 10x or don't do it. Because there's so many free ways or cheaper ways. If you want to drop some money, I'm crazy. One time I spent $5,000, actually it was $8,000, and we bought a trailer and a billboard, and I got a tiny little truck. Okay, I'm a crazy person. I got a little truck. There's my cute little truck. And then I got a little trailer. And I got a giant sign. Seriously. It was 10 feet tall, 20 feet long. The letters were 1 foot tall. And I put on here my ad. Real estate investor seeks trainee 120K plus per year. Call now. Okay, that's a maniac because my truck was only 14 feet. So I'm pulling this billboard. And I just drive up and down the freeways with my big old billboard. Okay. But I spent $8,000 on that. Unnecessary, but I did make a sale and I made my money back. But that was insane. Okay, that's just crazy. But it was worth it in the moment. And if you do decide to do that, let me help you design your flyer or your billboard so that it's effective and compliant. Okay, paid ads. What else? I'm going to call it industry events. Right, you're going to go to where other entrepreneurs are meeting, and you're going to do your 3-foot rule there. I mean, while I was in Utah for that 5 or so weeks, I went to about 25 Renatus events, and I went to 15 like meetups and different networking, local business type stuff. So I highly, highly recommend going to these industry events because people are already there. And remember, some people want real estate investing as a lifestyle. Other people want real estate investing as protection. So you have to listen and hear the difference. Okay. So how many of these are you going to employ? And then the other thing I'm going to be focusing on is old leads. I have about 10,000 old leads. So emails, follow-ups, and I might even employ a robot to make some calls. Now remember, you got to pay the robot for each call, just like you got to pay each person. But you know, a robot can call 100 people at a time. So it might be a little expensive, but if you dial in your robot enough, you know, like VAPI or Voice IP, N8N has one. There's a lot of voice robots that can make calls for you, but you got to go through that learning curve. So what I'm going to be focusing on is warm market for sure. I got a lot of people in Utah. I'm going to do some paid ads that I think is worth the risk, but there is some risk there. I'm going to do a lot of old leads, following up with my people there. I'm going to do a little bit of industry events when I go travel. I'm probably not going to do Facebook. I try to avoid it. Other people love it. For me, it's a black hole, so I stay out of it. Same with LinkedIn. And then of course, once we get our flyers designed, then everything's going to go point towards our website that will collect the leads. So there you go. Eric's got a robot too.
Hi, Michael.
GM.
Yeah. Good morning. When do you think we're gonna get the flyer from corporate? Do you know?
Well, the rumor last week was this week. So
Okay.
if you want, if it's not ready, then I can make fun of Jay Stark on your behalf if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be good if you have more time to market it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We can
Mhm.
make websites that match the branding and everything. And I mean, you guys already know the majority of what it's going to be if you attended the first one in March. It's going to be like about 80% is going to be the same. That other 20% tweaking and improving. But the majority of it will be what you've already experienced. So you can at least start talking about it. And from the website when you log into Helios and you see the design effects on that tile. So you know the colors and the scheme and everything there. So
Yeah,
uh,
I already start talking to people about, like, if I get to talk with them, I mentioned it to them. So, but it would be great to have, like, at least, all the speakers and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you, Michael.
yeah, as soon as I have them, we'll be blasting them out to all you. So remember, when we're making our ads, the prospect has to get the question answered in their head. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Right? Or
Hey, hey,
GM Eric.
excuse me, Huggins. Before you go further, did they iron out the referral links? Like before, it was a little confusing. So, did
Are
they
you
already iron
asking,
that
are we
out?
going to each individually get our own link?
We already have, or they will be.
That's a good question. I think what they're trying to do is put it to where it's linked to your ICM account, so the guest doesn't have to put in who sent them. It can be just like the other campaigns that are in Helios. So I'll find out.
Yeah, I think, Michael, and if they can make it like, the test drive link, how we have that, or I know we had an event like a while back where we had our own link. So then they can just activate it, you know, individually. And if we have that, because if we're gonna be doing this twice a year, and I think it would be worth, having that. So it'd be so much easier. They can just click on that, register themselves that way.
Yep. That's what I want too. So we'll just start making demands, huh? We'll get
Yeah.
our picket fences out and we'll go rally in front of corporate. We on a website.
Right. There you go. Thank you.
That made me think about, I don't know why, but made me think about Toastmasters too. We're going around doing our different things. Think about this, the last 10 conversations you had about Renatus, if they went well and people understood your offer, or did they completely crumble and went nowhere and you fell flat? If your conversations were more towards the latter, you must join Toastmasters. It's $50 for 6 months of training on how to speak, craft your message, how to listen, be articulate. You can sign up for a free mentor in Toastmasters where someone will help you craft your message, because the whole message here, well, depending on your angle, but it's, for me, it's how to buy discounted property for your long-term wealth. Not only how, but why, because some people have no idea, right? They just have a job and a 401k, and why do I need to buy real estate? Why do I need it at a discount? So there's two different camps. The Toastmasters is dual beneficial because you have an audience every week that's going to continually help you refine that message, but then they're listening. It's all going in. They start thinking, well, if Denise is buying real estate, why aren't I buying real estate? If Michelle's buying real estate, maybe I should buy some real estate. So you're going to plant that in the audience at Toastmasters. But then you're also going to be able to become a more powerful speaker. Every phone call, every follow-up, every one-on-one, every time you are at an event speaking, you are speaking publicly. You may not be on stage, but you're in public speaking. So time to refine that and get better at it. So become a better speaker, big bonus. Have an audience every week, big bonus. And then while you're, here's how I did it. When I went to Toastmasters, I would tell the host for the day, my 5-minute speech or 7-minute speech is a small segment of a 30-minute speech I'm going to be giving later in the year, and I need to refine this one spot. So please, everybody, listen. If I lost your attention, if I became uninteresting, I stuttered, I this or that, whatever, and you go give that speech, you're going to have 10 or 20 people giving you feedback on how to make that better. If you just did that one time, that could double your income the following 12 months because of the amount of feedback that you got from the audience. There's feedback from your customers when they just tell you no. That's its own feedback, but they're not going to say, but you lost me here, and if you said it this way, I might have heard it better. They're not going to do that. You need that feedback from pros, and in Toastmasters, they're taught how to give feedback. I highly recommend it. You're going to find a bunch of green apples, a bunch of very coachable, open-minded, entrepreneur type people at Toastmasters, and it's $50 for 6 months. So worth it. So you have a huge opportunity to make a lot of friends at Toastmasters over the next 16 weeks. In fact, you could become a distinguished Toastmasters in 10 weeks. There's an achievement to unlock inside of their program where you give 10 speeches. And so anyway, huge, very profitable. We've raised capital from Toastmasters, and we've also enrolled a lot of students from Toastmasters. So yeah, Michelle says a cheap coach. Indeed. Highly, highly worth it. So do it. Okay, so all of your ads, they need to be answering this question, what's in it for me? So what angle do you want to take? You decide. But essentially, for me, the theme is freedom. See if I can spell this correctly. Sovereignty. Some people like to put it as options, choices. Everybody's got choices. You can choose to be poor, you can choose to be free. So, but then how to get the freedom, right? Maybe it's short-term rental cash flow. Maybe it's fix and flipping 2 houses a year. Maybe it's raising capital and taking a cut of each capital raise that you do. Maybe it's buying a multifamily and holding it for 20 years. The how is going to be custom, but the theme is freedom. I like how Scott says it. You know, Scott Rose says, stop fighting traffic 5 days a week, 20 hours a week to be in traffic, right? That's not freedom. So your angle, how do you want to take it? If, you know, there's a giant waterfall of money that wants to come to you. And if you look around at the top people who are making money, they've enrolled people that are just like them, right? You go look at Scott. Everyone on Scott's team rides motorcycles. All of his people, right? You go look at Kendall and Darren and Jason. They all like farming and tractors and hillbillies and chickens, right? You go over to Antonio in Florida, and he's enrolled everybody that's like him. All right, you go over to Arizona, you go look at Bill's team, everybody plays tennis. Okay, my point is that there's something that you're already doing that you enjoy, that's already got a group of people that are similar to you. And the easiest lay down sales are going to be the people that are like you. I enrolled a lot of people who like cars and mechanic stuff and turning wrenches. And then as I evolved and got more into farming and growing stuff, then I started hanging out with the permaculture people. And now I enroll a lot of tree planters and homestead oriented people. So something else to think about is these easy groups of people that have these similarities. And then they're going to, grease monkeys, you got it. It's going to be a lot easier for them to look. They come to an event and they see a bunch of other people like them already. It's so much easier for them to say, I'm in. So, so that all to say is the freedom of what it looks like from this person is different than this freedom, is different than this freedom, but the theme is still freedom, choices. Okay, so let's break some numbers down. You're going to put some ads out. You're going to call your warm market. I promise if you just do that 200 list and we go over a simple invitation, what 4 buckets to put them in. You remember Dane's 4 buckets. We have active partners, passive partners. We have problem properties, and we have cheerleaders. So when you go and call your 200, you're literally just figuring out what bucket to put these people in. Buckets. Okay, so you're going to make your list of 200. I'm telling you, you could do it in an hour. Then you call your 5-star. If I'm your 5-star, call me. If Mitch or Maylee or Bree or whoever's your 5-star, call them. Say, I'm ready to call my warm market. You're going to star your top 20, your top 50, something like that. And we're going to start calling them. And then where do we put them? Do you have money? Do you know somebody with a problem property? Or are you just going to root for my success? Cheer me on. Or do you want to do it with me? Now, if you do it with warm market versus 200 flyers, okay, you go pass out 200 flyers. First of all, that's not enough. 200 flyers is a 1 hour work. 200 flyers might be 1 day work, depending on where you're passing them out. But 200 flyers is not enough. Because what will happen is you're going to get between a 1 and a 5% response rate. Someone texting or calling or going to the website saying, I'm interested. Okay. So what is that? That's between 2 and 10 leads for 200 flyers. And then you have to get them interested, right? A lead is not, a lead is just a number. We don't know if they're actually qualified, a real prospect or not. It's just a lead. So let's say you talk to them, they come to the meeting. You're going to have 50%, 50% attend from this process. So now you're going to get 1 to 5 people in a seat at an event. Okay. And then from there, you're going to get 50% to say, I want to do a follow-up with you. So now it's between 0 and 3. And then at the follow-up, if you have Mitch do your follow-up, it's like an 80% close. But the average person is doing between 20 and 50%. So let's just keep it simple and keep going 50. So you're going to make between 0 and 1, maybe 2 sales on the high end. We're going to go with 1 sale. And that's if you do your job right. You put out 200 flyers, and every step along the way, you were quick. Okay, between the response and inviting them, it's got to be minutes to hours. It cannot be weeks. And then the same thing with response to attend. It cannot be weeks. It's got to be within days they're coming to the event. And then same with your follow-up, should be the next day. If you meet them on a Thursday night, have a follow-up Friday morning. That's within hours of the event. That was where I made the highest closing ratio was the Friday morning, Friday afternoon. If they can't meet Friday morning, Friday afternoon, then it's Friday night. They go, oh, I work all day Friday. Great. What time are you off? Let's go grab some pizza or a burger and let's talk about this. You're off at 6. That's about the time I eat dinner. Let's go have dinner and talk about this amazing opportunity. You eat dinner, right? Okay, so, but here's the thing. This is a long-term ripple effect. You go put out 200 flyers. And when I say put out, you're not just posting and running away. You're going to post and then look around and make friends wherever you're posting. The coffee shops, the grocery stores, the libraries, all the places where flyers go. Get onto a robot. Grok is my favorite. Gemini's corrupt. DeepSeek is spying on you, and ChatGPT is also spying on you. So I like Grok. But whatever robot you want, ask it, where should I post my flyers? Okay, go there, do that. But you're also going to be talking, making friends, looking around, because what it comes down to at the end of this is your intention. What is your intention? Is your intention to put up flyers? Is it just to put up flyers? Because if that's your intention, put up flyers and win. But if your intention is to make a difference, while making a profit, you're going to take different actions than if your intention is to just put up flyers. What is the action behind the intention? Okay. I'm telling you, our goal here is make a difference for people while we're making a profit. That's what my 5-star did for me. That's what yours is doing for you, and so on and so on and so on. So when you go put that flyer out there, before you get out of your car, you might need to reset your intention. I'm here to make a difference for people while making a profit. Keep that in your mind. And then you get out of your car with your flyers and your big smiles. And what will blow your mind is that someone that morning sat in their car and went, I hope I find a solution to my problem. And then they're going to walk in, and then you walk in and you look and you smile, and maybe they're frowning because they're like, oh, I got a problem. You know, I got a bill to pay. I got my boss is grinding my gears. I hate the traffic. Something is weighing on them. They might not be smiling, but you're smiling because you got the right intention. I'm not here to make a difference. Same thing when you call, when you go to Toastmasters, when you make your list. This is one of the most powerful intentions to have. Make a difference. So people say, what are you doing out here? Why are you doing this? I'm doing this to make a difference. No one can argue that. Go, oh, shit. They got to judge themselves. Am I out here making a difference? Most people are not. But we are. We're out here to make a difference while making a profit. Once you're profitable enough, maybe you make a difference for free. But we're here to make a difference for a profit. Some of you have told me personally, and some of you have come out on the calls in different places and said it, that Renatus, the 5-star, the ad, the whatever you saw, was an answer to a prayer. And you have no idea how many people are praying for a solution right now. They need good ideas. They need support. They need action. They need a plan. That's what we have here. So I got to go. But let's say these 500 people come from us, and 250 of them are genuine leads and 250 are internal, right? The actual team. So 250 leads that are genuine. We had an incredible closing ratio. I think we could do even better, but let's say we enrolled 125 of them, right? 50% buy something. And out of those 125, the majority of them are going to buy combos, right? Buy the extreme combo because of the bonus and the benefits and everything that come with it. If we sell 100 combos, that's a 1,200,000 in direct commissions paying out to people. And then there's another $300,000 being paid in overrides. So if we just sell half, which I think we could do more, but if we just sell half, we'll split $1.5 million that month. Okay. Now remember, that's 125 people. 125 people. If we help 50% of those 125 people, come on, fingers. Let's say we help 65 of these people go get 5-star. Okay. 125 new customers, and over the next 90 days, we get 65 people to 5-star. Well, If those 65 people went and made 5-star the fastest way, which would be 5 combos, that would be an additional 325 new people on the team. Okay, 325 new people on the team that just bought their Extreme Plus combo, because I mean that's what we do, and that's the most popular. Times 12,000 is 3.9 million. I'm just going to round up to 4 million people the following 6 months if we go help half of the people who enroll become 5-star. There's another $4 million to be had. So this is in 4 months if we start working now. And I think these are low numbers. But then the following 4 to 6 months is this extra number here. And then you take those people and help them get 5-star. Obviously, less people are going to go get 5-star than enrolled, so we just cut it in half. But this is, now we're looking at $5.5, $6 million in the next 8 to 12 months. One person could do this, or a team can do this. This is the beauty of the program. And that's my sign to go. All right, so GM, let's get to work. Make your list. Go to Toastmasters. Get your vision board up. Put something about your intention on the E3 Summit, what you're going to do, what's going to be real for you, and go from imagination to reality. Make it real. What's your intention? I promise if your intention is to make a difference, you're going to attract way more people than if your intention is to make ads. What's your intention? All right, everybody, I got to run. I'm late. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic day. Money Monday. Go spread the good word, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody.